Hey, it's Ryan Barton-Grimley again, but of course you know that because you're on my YouTube channel. Welcome back. Thank you so much for subscribing. If you're not subscribing, go ahead and hit that button. So, happy M.L.K. Day. That's Martin Luther King. To any of you that lived under a rock your entire life, I don't know. Anyway, I just wanted to say that I'm a big fan. I'm a pretty liberal guy. I wouldn't say the most liberal or the least, but I'm definitely pretty liberal. So I just wanted to, I don't know, talk about that kind of thing for a little bit, because obviously this is a YouTube channel about a director and what I do in my life. Hopefully you're coming here to get some tips on how you can do the same thing for yourself. I guess what I'd really like to say, and I think Martin Luther King is a great example of that, is that you cannot be a director or a writer or performer that makes a difference unless you really know who you are and you're true to yourself. That means not cynically writing whatever project you think will get you ahead. That means not getting the latest haircut so you look like every other actor, sound like them, get the same headshots. That means not directing like everybody else does. Pick your own style, make your own statement. Additionally, on the subject of Martin Luther King, obviously just a titan in American history and responsible for really framing the idea of civil rights in the United States in a way I think that was truly profound. I guess as a middle-aged white guy, it inspires me to know that he basically put his entire life into that and risked his life to do that. And at the end of the day, sadly lost his life for that. And I think there's something truly inspiring about that. And he was very clear on his message. And the thing I really loved is that he really was a peaceful warrior. And I think that's such a big deal because it's so easy to go to violence. It's so easy to fight with other people. It's really hard to show restraint. And I think this doesn't just apply in your life, how you get along with your significant other or your family and friends, how you deal with your life at work, how do you deal with your life on set. It's very easy to be controlling. It's very easy to be a winner-take-all person. It's very easy to just sort of act with impunity like your relationships will survive. And the thing is that they don't. I just think there's a lot to be learned from this philosophy of nonviolence, but still being very socially active. Because this was not a thing that he did to roll over. It was just very much the opposite. I mean, it just sounds so trite. I'm comparing, what I do on set to Martin Luther King, and it's ridiculous, but hear me out here. When you're on set, you want to be a force for peace. You do not want an aggressive, angry set. There is this horrific, stupid rumor out there that says that you cannot make a great creative project without a lot of emotion, and I just don't buy that. This same conspiracy theory about needing drama on set also leads to artists kind of acting out in their lives and having this kind of megalomania, and I just don't think it's very healthy. I think what's healthy is approaching your work as an artist almost like a carpenter. A carpenter doesn't get all dramatic about cutting a piece of wood, and I don't think actors, directors, or writers should either. I'm not saying you should roll over either. What I'm saying is you should be powerfully peaceful and get through the work. And I think that's a personal message that I take from Martin Luther King, and for that matter, I could take it from Gandhi or John Lewis as well. I think there's enough drama out there. And like I've said many times to actors and crew members on my sets, I've said, hey, let's keep the drama on the screen. Let's get all the angst and the anger and the manipulation and the drama. Let's get that all on screen. Let's not torture each other on this short independent film schedule anyway. Again, I think what Martin Luther King could teach us all is to have a little humility, to try to really identify how other people are feeling about the situation. And I think that's so important in your regular life. Put yourself in the other person's shoes. Like, really do that. And I think that's super important as a director, because you're working with crew members, you're working with writers, you're working with actors. Time is short, time is money. It's very easy to just get lost in all of that, but you've got to really understand where people are coming from, because it is such a collaborative art. I just think the kind of force for peace attitude is so important. We live in such a divided, polarized society. I mean, even entertainment is polarized and divided. It's ridiculous. I personally am tired of it. I'm not going to go out there and fight with people and yell and scream, but I'll tell you what I will do is I will go and peacefully sit and push for change day by day, incrementally. I just think it's super important as an artist to be socially aware of what's going on in your own society. Because at the end of the day, again, what are you saying? What are you bringing to the project? If what you're bringing is a bunch of angst, a bunch of top-down power dynamic, I just don't think you're going to have much of a career, because I don't think people want to see those stories anymore. Anyway, I just want to wish you a happy M.L.K. Day. I think it's super amazing that we're going to have a new president and vice president, the first person of color as well, the same week as M.L.K. Day. It's pretty inspiring. And of course, there's all this ridiculous stuff that happened at the Capitol last week, and we're still trying to dig ourselves out of that. We need to dig ourselves out of that, and we need to move on. My message to you as a viewer is to support the voices that bring people together, that help each other access each other's humanity. Support voices that do that. Be a positive, powerful voice that does not take advantage of other people's voices or prevent them. Actually be out there and be a positive force for change and put that into your work, because that's what will make you stand out. We find ourselves at a really unique time in our own history where we can really be a positive force for change and not cynical. And that's a big deal. I am not down with cynicism. I don't like it. I do not push for cynicism. It's low-hanging fruit, especially in humor. Personally, I think it's a cop-out. Anyway, I could go on this for days, guys. I just want to put a little note out there about M.L.K. because when I first moved here from Zimbabwe in the 80s, I didn't really know much about him. And then I remember in 5th grade learning about him, and he was just so incredibly inspiring. He kept going. He didn't give up. I mean, this guy faced major adversity. He wasn't just trying to get a career off the ground. He was trying to create an entire movement in this country to push equality, to finally pay off what the forefathers had said their intention was behind creating this country. And I think that's just a very powerful thing. And as an artist, I think what you can do, or what I personally think I want to do when I think about that, is that I'm going to push to get my stuff out there and to connect with people. And I'm not going to take no for an answer. I'm going to do that in a positive, profound way that connects to them, not in a divisive way, not in a way that makes people feel less than. I'm going to do that in a way that builds people up, that brings them to the table, that gives them a chance to connect to an experience, for them to see something that means something to them. I just think that's super important. I think these are lessons that we could learn from him. I think there's a million lessons you can learn from him. That's where I'm coming from. And I think our job as artists, as writers, directors, filmmakers, actors, performers, painters, whatever it is, it's our job to not just comment, but to shed light. To use an improv analogy, you're not just saying yes, you're saying yes and. You're not just agreeing to the version of reality, and granted, we do have a bit of an issue with that right now. We're not all sharing a common reality. But I think we can get back to that point, and once we do get there, with our yes, we need to add an and, because we need to move forward. And so if you're not bringing something to the table, you're actually doing the opposite. There's another thing I would take away from Martin Luther King Day this year. It's that we all need to kind of hit the reset button, look at our neighbor, and really try to connect with everybody around us and kind of bring everything down temperature-wise. Granted, we need some accountability for sure, and I don't think we can move forward before that, but I do think we need to dial down the level of angst out there. Anyway, that's kind of where I'm coming from this MLK Day. I want to thank you again for tuning in. Please hit the subscribe button, and I will see you in the future.